Real simple, real quick. The reason why I think we are off about our hypothesis that Sasquatch avoid game cameras because of the infrared lights. First of all, you got to know exactly what type of sensors you have on your trail cameras, because there's a couple different types. A lot of them have PIR, passive infrared. Okay, that means that it's got a sensor in it that's collecting light that's coming in to the sensor, and that light is painting a picture inside that sensor. When something walks in front of it, it changes the pattern in that sensor. Then that triggers one of two different types of infrared lights. A lot of them, some of them have 850 nanometers, which you can see, which is red. It gives off a red glow, just like this. And it's actually the brighter of the two. And it goes further. Well, that comes with a price. That means you see the red glow, just like I showed you. The 940, no see, you don't see it. Some people say they can see it. There's evidence out there to suggest other animals do see it. We don't know why exactly. There's plenty of videos out there of cameras or of animals looking at cameras after they go off. Whether it's the noise, the flash, we don't know. But the thing is, if your camera has a PIR on it, these do not matter because they're not on before the camera's sitting there. There's nothing coming out of the camera. There is no infrared lights coming off the camera at all if it's got a PIR, passive infrared. Now, there are some that have active infrared where it actually shoots a beam out. And if something walks across and triggers that beam, breaks the beam, then yes. Then you can say, well, maybe they're seeing the beam. Good to go. But here's the deal. From what I've seen, it's not exactly that simple because, and I've got a video on YouTube that I posted that shows the electric meter on the side of my house. It's got a constant flashing IR light on it, like a strobe light. That's the same side of the house where I have like 75% of the activity that happens around here. That's where the growl was recorded. That's where I got them on video, on infrared or thermal. The other videos where sounds like they're pounding on their chest or something and playing with aluminum cans. Same corner of the house. If they were afraid and could see infrared and it scared them, or it blinded them like people said it did, then that would not happen. So we've got a problem with the hypothesis. It's good in theory, but I don't think it always applies. You've got to know exactly what type of sensor you have. I just don't simply think it's that simple. I think maybe it has something to do with, like if my neighbor comes by and puts a potted plant in my living room, I'm going to see it. Maybe they just simply don't trust human objects. I don't know what it is. Maybe they smell it. There is evidence that they actually know what the front and the back of a camera is. How in the world they can do that, I do not know. You would think that would line up with they're seeing the infrared, but that's not always the case. There's not always infrared lights. So I think we need to come up with a new hypothesis, or at least dive a little deeper. Already visited this before. We had a podcast about it, but Hank actually did some testing when we were out in the field, and he put up his trail camera and he tested it with my phone that sees an infrared, and there was no infrared light coming out whenever he triggered it. There was no infrared at all until the actual infrared bulb flashed. So that's one thing you need to do. Every trail camera should tell you exactly what type of sensor it has.
I've never heard anyone mention this before, but for me, this is extremely important. Your power meter emits an infrared light, and it blinks as you use power. I've never heard anybody mention this. It's very important for me. I never thought about it, but look where the infrared light's hitting. It's hitting all around.